Hello and welcome back to Daddy, Dad and Me. Another week, another video. Hope you're all doing well. We're now into week 8, so a few months after placement day. Things are going well. Still having good and not so good days, but that is the life of a toddler and the life of parents really. So nothing's really changed there. Looking forward to what next month has to offer for us and little man. There's going to be a few changes, more so around him starting nursery. And as I've said in the previous video, I would like to do a little vlog about preparations for that and the changes that will happen naturally with that as well. So today's video I wanted to do probably one of the most important videos I think yet, because we get a lot of questions and a lot of people are surprised that once little man is here, from the day he's here, the legal process has then stopped and everything's all done and that's it, and that unfortunately isn't true. So I wanted today's video to be about post placement, and for those who are not used to the term placement, there is a placement day which is usually kind of 4 to 6 days roughly after introduction. So for as we were away for 6 days with little man and foster carer in their home, then 4 days with us. Also on the 5th day was his placement day, so the official day in which he came home. So yeah, carry on. Hope you're liking the videos, get more subscribers come through so we know word is getting out, and we just, as I said in many of the videos before, we created this channel, Daddy, Dad and Me, to raise awareness of adoption, same-sex adoption as well, and just the life of two gay dads and their little man. So yeah, carry on and we'll go straight into the video. See you there. So yes, post-placement, adoption post-placement I should say. So as I said in the intro, our placement day was on the 5th day following little man and his foster carer being with us and around. That placement day is the official day that they are placed with you. But one of the main questions and one of, I suppose, the main observations is that people think that as soon as the child is with you, that's it, that's the end of the process. That isn't true, and what I wanted to do today was to talk through the process for those of you who don't know, and for those of you that do, and just to give a bit of insight into the work that still carries on in the background, still things happening, and just some of the timescales, just to give you some insight, because I know people like, I've had lots of feedback, like listening and watching the vlogs and the blogs that we do as well. So yeah, following placement, we had little man's social worker and our social worker attend on the day. That's to hand over any documents such as birth certificates, all of the files, etc., about everything that's happened, so profiles, reports, etc., that we've already seen, but we just had to be physically handed them by his social worker. Due to COVID, it changed somewhat in that our social worker visited once a week for about a month or so. It would usually be the child's social worker, but due to travel, etc., and the virus, it was easier for our social worker to visit, and it's not there to, I suppose, for them to check up on you. It's one, to see how little man's doing, how to see we're doing as well. That's also very important, and anything that we want to raise that can be fed back via the appropriate channels, via the professionals involved. So we had that for a month or so, and one of the questions that we recently were asked is, do we feel like we are still being or were being watched? Not at all. Everybody's very supportive, everybody is there for us and for little man, and at no point have we felt like we are under a microscope or being examined, or I wouldn't have done it this way or I wouldn't have done it that way. Our social worker comes once, or was coming once a week for, I'd probably say about an hour, hour and a half, just to see how everything was, us to feed back any concerns about here and what's been happening, and there have been a few times we've needed guidance on things, and that's exactly what they're there for. Shortly after, so about a few weeks in, we had what they call a LAC review, so a looked after child review. This is with the local authority for where Little Man has come from, and that's again all the professionals involved with the adoption, and it's there to talk about how things are happening. One of them, the people that chair that meeting, is called the IRO, which is the Independent Reviewing Officer, and that's an impartial person that knows about the adoption itself but hasn't necessarily been involved with the what, whys and wherefores and everything. They're there to speak and liaise with his birth parents, but also to liaise with the professionals and for us as well. And it's just a big, very big meeting in which so James went on it, I think it was about an hour or so, and it just talks about the entire adoption, what's happened, what's going well, anything that we wanted to raise, etc. So that was there, and that was again a few weeks after. We are due another LAC review, so that was say a month ago, and we're due one in the next few weeks. So I would say every month, but you're probably looking every 4 to 6 weeks until the adoption order is granted. So yeah, social worker visits, they have now dropped down to once every 2 weeks, but we still have a social worker on WhatsApp, phone calls, etc., out of hours lines. So if anything happens, anything comes up we want to raise or raise urgently, we can, again with the appropriate people. Little Man's social worker is coming down very soon, so it would be nice to see her, because we tend to have a lot of email correspondence, etc. So it would be nice for her to see how Little Man is doing, and for us as well, and then to start talking about the adoption order. Now, one of the main things I wanted to say is, and the reason for the video right at the start of the intro and the explanation, is that once Little Man was here after on his placement day, that isn't the end of the legal process. So we share legal parental responsibility with his local authority, which is obviously not our local authority. After 10 weeks, once the child has been placed with you, you can then proceed and go down the legal route, and that is to obtain an adoption order so that the birth parents no longer have any parental responsibility with the local authority, and then full parental responsibility is with us as his parents. So that may surprise some of you. So again, after 10 weeks, that can be applied for. It can't be applied for any sooner. It then goes down the legal process, and that, as some people may know that are watching the video, can be quite a quick process. Some people, it can end up being 2, 3 or more hearings. So obviously won't say too much at this stage about that, because I want to withhold some information until that happens, but we will be looking to do that. And then once that's happened, that's more or less it, once the adoption order is granted, but that is happening months after Little Man has been placed with us. It's not something that happens straight away. So I think that may surprise some people, because yeah, a lot of people think, oh, that's it, it's all over, and it's not. But we're getting there, it's getting close, so won't be long. One of the things we do as well, that again some people may not necessarily be aware of, is what they call letterbox contact. So it's, we maintain indirect contact with Little Man's birth parents, and that is to provide an update at intervals about how things are going. And again, it's anonymous to protect some of our details, etc., and for Little Man. And it's really, so if there's anything, for instance, such as nursery schools, things that are happening, any birthdays, any celebrations, and progress made in that regard. It's not like adoption used to be many years ago, where nothing would ever be shared. Little Man will know that he's adopted when we can explain in an age appropriate way to him and the reasons for that, and that will happen in the form of a later life letter and any books. So yeah, we're looking forward to the future once the adoption order is granted, and again, we don't know how long that will take. So that is everything more or less post placement. and it's not a kind of topic that a lot of people talk about, which is why I wanted to start the discussion about it. Again, there's lots of variables still at the moment for us, so again, I can't really say too much, but I just wanted to open people's eyes as to it's not just that's the end of the process for us after 2 years once Little Man was placed with us. There's still a lot of work ongoing, but obviously at the moment we can't really talk about it. I'm sure at some point we will share something, because again, we've got lots of people who are like following our journey. So any questions whatsoever, please do get in touch with us, daddydadandme@gmail.com, or on Instagram here, Facebook or Twitter. So I hope you're all doing well. Things are all well here. This is my quiet time, my me time, so I was just in the mood to record another video, and following some questions the other day by friends and neighbours, etc., I thought it was a good topic to talk about. So yeah, any questions and any recommendations for videos in the future, I'm more than happy to receive those as well. And yeah, so I hope you're all enjoying your summer holidays, wherever you are, whatever you're doing, and look forward to speaking with some of you very, very soon, and another video. And probably, yeah, the next one will be about transitioning to nursery. Exciting times. So all the best, and we'll see you very soon. Bye.